Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents Marvel Monday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the Marvel Legends series Secret Wars 40th Anniversary Iron Man. Let's get into it! Let's begin with a look at the packaging, and here we have Marvel print. Warning! Don't stick things in your pie hole that do not belong there. Marvel Legends series Secret Wars Iron Man. Nice big blister showcasing the figure and his accessories. 4 and up, assortment numbers, Hasbro print. Then on the bottom, top, sides, it's a blister card, so really no details there. Marvel print. Celebrating Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars 40, which is 40th anniversary. Iron Man. The Invincible Iron Man helps the Avengers navigate the Beyonders gladiatorial contest, all while harboring a secret about his identity. Then right here, we've got some nice artwork of Iron Man. Here we have the cross sale, Spider-Man, Captain America, Iron Man, this figure, Wolverine, Titania, and the Beyonder. Each sold separately, subject to availability. And here's the instructions on how to use the lenticular shield. Attention! Don't stick things in your French pie hole that do not belong there. Warning, attention, Octoon, don't stick things in any other language pie hole that do not belong there. Don't give it to babies. Small, fine, legalese made in China print. Symbols I'm not going to learn. Another symbol I'm not going to learn. Some more small, fine, legalese print. A barcode. More symbols I'm not going to learn. Marvel print and Hasbro print. That, my friends, is a look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure and his accessories. And here we have handy dandy tweezers for some of the smaller bits and bobs. And let's start off right here. First up, he comes with one set of extra hands and one hand in addition to what comes on the figure. So of course the extra hands are the repulsor blast hands, which again did not get upgraded to repulsor blast hands with hinges with this release, although there was some upgrading going on here. So there is that, and there's 2 of those. They do have nice molded details in them. And some ports right there for the repulsor blasts to fit into. So, they're not bad accessories, but I just wish by this point they've been reused so much. And we've gotten several Iron Mans now that do have repulsor blast hands with hinges in them that I feel like we should have gotten them already. Now here we have some of the newer, they're not brand new, we've seen these before, but we do have these smoke effects. And they also work in the repulsor blast hands. They have a post on and they just port right in there. And there's 2 of those. And they're made out of a kind of a translucent plastic, but it's translucent in places, but then has more color in other places. So there is that. Next up, we do have the repulsor blasts. And again, these are not pieces we haven't seen before. I think we've even seen them in these colors as well. So they can port into the bottom of his feet. And they do also port into these repulsor blast hands. And there's 2 of those are exactly alike. They do have some nice molded detail in them. They're molded in a translucent plastic, and it's more clear here toward the tip, and then the blue. At least I think that's blue. I'm colorblind. Don't make fun of handicapped people. It gets darker as it goes along. It looks blue to me anyway. So, and then of course it's got this little flashy flange piece on it as well. So, you know, cool pieces. Old pieces, but cool pieces. Next up, we have some of the new pieces. And it's roller skate feet for Iron Man. And they have a peg right here. They peg into the bottom of his feet. And for those of you who are not, you know, avid readers of Iron Man, this really is a gimmick that he did use a good bit in the comic books. Rocket-powered roller skates. For when his power levels were low and he couldn't fly places, he would use these. So I think that's a neat little addition to this version of Iron Man. Next up, we have a C-grip, which may be new. A new piece for this as well. I don't remember having seen this before, but I could be mistaken. It nice molded details in it. You know, it looks like Iron Man's hand. It is on an up and down hinge. So that's cool. Then next up we have this laser pistol, which of course Iron Man never used. I don't know that anybody ever used a laser pistol of this design in the comic book. However, where this piece did come in, it was an accessory included a lot in the original Mattel Marvel Superhero Secret Wars line. Dr. Doom, Iron Man, Kang, and I'm sure there's a few others that came with this. Maybe even Magneto might have even come with this one. I don't recall right offhand. I'm sure somebody out there does. But even right down to this L-shaped hook that with at least Dr. Doom's, he had that little leg strap on his right leg, and it had a slot in it, and this gun would go down into it, so it was kind of holstered to his thigh. It does have nice molded details, and it does really bring back memories of those Secret Wars figures from Mattel. This is a great piece added into this, and another, you know, great piece. Well, anyway, we'll get to that. You know, the lenticular shield, of course, you know, a staple of the Mattel Secret Wars line, and unfortunately Hasbro's kind of fell flat, at least for me, on this feature. Now, I do think it's nice that they included, you know, this homage to the original figures, but I think they kind of, I don't want to say missed the point of it, but I think they missed an opportunity to have a little bit more nostalgia with these figures on these shields, and I'll explain that in just a minute. So, you know, it basically opens up like the original shields did. However, those original Mattel shields, the lenticular piece was here on the front of the shield, and with these Hasbro versions, the lenticular piece is on the picture, and the picture is only one-sided. And even though there is another piece that fits into this shield, and I think it's a nice addition, I won't say it's a great addition, but it's a nice addition, is this other piece. However, the original pieces, I want to say you got 4 in with each figure, and they were double-sided. Now this one does have some printing on this side, and it does tell you, you know, this is how you change the piece out, but no lenticularization on this one. And you know, it does have this Secret Wars 40th anniversary logo on it, which I think is you know, it's a cool looking logo. It has the rim of the shield in the back, and celebrating Marvel Superhero Secret Wars, which is pretty much the original comic book logo there. and then they added the 40 to it. So, but I think, you know, this is kind of a missed nostalgic opportunity on Hasbro's part. But there we go. That's all the accessories. Let's talk about the figure. And the first thing I want to say about this figure is finally they've upgraded the elbows and the knees to be pinless. I have talked about them reusing this mold and not updating those parts or retooling those parts to be pinless. Finally, they have. Not that they were listening to me by any means. Now, I do think, you know, the white there in the eyes it's cool looking, but not accurate to how this version of Iron Man appeared in the comics. You know, usually they do a close-up on it and you could see his eyes on the inside there, rather than these, you know, just colored bits in there. Now, another thing that I really don't like, and it's not that I don't like it, it does look cool, it's just not, I don't feel like that's accurate to what they're trying to do here. And speaking of what's not accurate, this piece and these pieces not accurate at all to Secret Wars Iron Man. This piece should be the same yellow as the arms and the legs, and these pieces should just not be colored at all. They should just be molded in this red plastic and that be it, because these are the charging ports on that original armor. And I know in more recent things this is, you know, this is how they decorate it up, but I really, you know, this bothers me that it's not the correct color. It's just not right. So other than that, you know, this is pretty much the 80th Iron Man mold, and he is in his classic red and yellow as he appeared in the comic books rather than red and gold. And they have done a red and yellow version of this before, but it was the AI one, I guess is which one it was. So these colors, and this is basically, you know, it had these blues in it, and for that version I didn't mind it so much because, you know, it was accurate to the source material in that. This is not accurate to the source material, but you know, that's for later on. So throughout this figure, nice molded details, you know, the ribbing here for the gloves and the cuffs for the gauntlets, and then the crotch piece and the power packs, and, you know, the abs and everything. And he's made out of kind of a shiny plastic, so it gives it a little bit of that metal look to it, I guess. And then again, the cuffs for the boots, and then the ribbing, or, you know, sectioned off pieces of the boot. So the mold, at this point, there's nothing wrong with this mold. There's some pieces I would like to see added to it, or, you know, just retooled altogether. But as it stands for a reuse of a 6-year-old mold, this is pretty good, especially seeing how it only took them 6 years to upgrade the elbows and the knees. So let's take a look at his articulation real quick, and in final thoughts we'll get back to the griping. So it's on a ball and hinge at the neck. He can look up that high. He can look down that far. He's got chicken neck. He's got a little bit of waggle. He can do the full exorcist. At the shoulders, 360 degrees of rotation there. And he can raise his arm up slightly better than 90 degrees. Cut at the upper bicep, 360 degrees of rotation. As I mentioned before, double hinged, pinless elbow. And it gives you that much bend. The cuff of the glove does kind of get in the way there. Standard ab hinge, so he can lean back that far, and he can lean forward that far. So this is not a bad range of motion there. Straight cut at the waist, 360 degrees of rotation there. At the hips, the power pods do get in the way a bit, and they bend out like that, and I don't like to do them like that, but, you know, for the sake of a review, I'll do it maybe once. So he can give you that much of the splits. He can kick forward that far, which is a little less than 90 degrees, and backwards hardly any at all, maybe a half a step. cut at the upper thigh, 360 degrees of rotation there. As I stated before, double hinged, pinless knee. And he gets that much of range of motion out of it. And you can see the cuff of the boot kind of does stop the motion right there. So at the top of the shin, it's a boot cut for a 360 degree rotation, and at the ankle tilts down that far, tilts up that far. So that range is really, really good on this one. And then forward facing pin for rocker. So there we have it, my friends. There's a look at the figure and his accessories. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have the Marvel Legends series Secret Wars 40th Anniversary Iron Man with the Marvel Legends series Marvel Comics 80th Anniversary Iron Man, and the Marvel Legends series Marvel Legends 20th Anniversary Iron Man. For our last set of comparisons, here we have the Marvel Legends series Secret Wars 40th Anniversary Iron Man, with from the Marvel Legends series making his cameo appearance Stan the Man Lee. From the G.I. Joe Classified series, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander. From Star Wars The Black series, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper. And for a 7-inch scale comparison from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final thoughts on the Marvel Legends series Secret Wars 40th Anniversary Iron Man, there are some, it's a little bit of a mixed bag. And I will say this, it's nice to get the roller skates as an accessory for Iron Man, because when he wore this armor, at least Tony Stark used it a lot. I don't remember Rhodey using those skates a lot, but I could be just misremembering. It's been a little while since I've read those issues. So that's nice. And, you know, I'm a little disappointed with the Secret Wars shield. The fact that it only has one lenticular piece to it, and it's not even double-sided. They could have at least double-sided that. That would have been, you know, at least a bit more of a homage to the original figures. I think, I don't know which way they were trying to go with this. You know, were they trying to go to those original figures or to the comics or what? Because, you know, I honestly think that this was a big missed opportunity to give us Rhodey his head as an alternate head in this pack, seeing as how Rhodey was Iron Man during this time. And they didn't even put him on the lenticular piece. And I understand why they didn't do that, because the original figures didn't do that. Because back when they were doing the original figures, they didn't want to confuse people too much, because people who knew Iron Man knew Tony Stark was Iron Man and might not have known that Rhodey was Iron Man during that time. However, we do know it now, and most of us do know it. So I think that was a big missed opportunity for the Legends team to get us that Rhodey head that would go with this armor. I think the double-barreled pistol laser gun thing is a nice, like the shield, it's a nice throwback to those original figures. And even though they didn't really use that in the comic, it did come with several of the figures, most prominently Kang, Doctor Doom, and Iron Man. Another missed opportunity with this was to give us the proper colors for the charging ports and the unibeam. Again, we got the blue rather than the yellow for the unibeam, and the charging ports to not have any glowy bits to them. I think maybe they forgot that Iron Man didn't have those glowy bits back then. And you know, those are my biggest complaints with it. One of the pluses for it, finally, this 80th anniversary Iron Man mold has pinless elbows and knees. So, and for the most part, he's the proper reds, he's the proper yellows to go with the comic book. Again, the charging ports and the unibeam being the exception to that. One other thing I think they kind of missed the opportunity with, you know, back during this era of comics, you know, you didn't get the glowy slits for the eyes. It was, you know, especially when it got a close-up on the mask, you could see the eyes inside the mask. And I realize that's not how they portray Iron Man in the modern era. But during the time of this book, you know, that was still the case. You could see the eyes, sometimes even the teeth or the mouth inside the mask. So, you know, that's a little nitpicky stuff. For the most part, if you don't have the 80th anniversary Iron Man, or the, what's it, the AI Iron Man, which this is almost that one. You know, if you don't have those already, then this should be a pickup if you like this classic, you know, most recognizable Iron Man armor, at least from the comic books. It's almost there, just a little bit on the colorings. But since this one has it's updated with the pinless elbows and knees, you know, and if you don't have those other versions of Iron Man, then this one, you know, you might want to consider picking this one up. Also, it does come with the roller skates, and it does come with that great double-barreled laser pistol that if you don't want to use it with Iron Man and you have that Doctor Doom and Captain Marvel Secret Wars 2-pack, which that's not how it was advertised, but that's, you know, where it was from. At least the Doctor Doom. You know, you can use that pistol with Doctor Doom. Even though, again, he didn't use it in the comic books, but the toy did come with it. Well, that does it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I am now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content or just help the channel grow, or both, that's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.